38 knots. You know, this thing is unstoppable. I could do this and drink a coffee or smoke a pipe. I feel like you can smoke a pipe on this boat and you just feel unstoppable. Welcome to Queensland, and a wonderful day it is today. I've been trying to put together this shoot for you guys for almost a year now, so it's amazing how time flies, but we're here and I'm excited, and you should be too, because we got a really special boat to test today. And I feel like I'm doing a bit of a public service announcement for some of you blokes. Some of you blokes who are thinking you were, you know, needing the Damon support yacht or going super excessive. I think I'm going to save you money, as a matter of fact, on something that's going to do everything you want in that support vessel and more. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit ridiculous, but quite a bit of fun. So my name's Dan Jones. Welcome to Dan's Boat Life, and today I'm on the Ocean Alexander Divergence 45. This is a serious piece of kit. Absolutely an alternative to a support vessel. The most epic day boat that you can possibly find in the Australian market today, and it's got volume to spare. I have just been for the drive inshore and offshore flying the drone. And I think the word or the feeling that came to mind was domination. Domination. Yes, that's what I'm going to go with today. I felt like I was dominating the Broadwater of Queensland up here on the Gold Coast. This thing is unstoppable. She's 15 tonne boat. So she's 15 tonne boat with about over 2,000 litres of fuel, a couple hundred litres of diesel for the genset. We've got everything on this boat, so there is going to be a walkthrough. I can't talk to you about all the features on this boat in this, because we're focusing on the inshore and offshore driving capabilities in this video. So if you're interested in a walkthrough, subscribe, follow the link, and that's going to be coming soon. But yeah, we've got a gyro, we got a genset, we got Quad 350 Mercs on the back, and we've got some pretty good speed capabilities for what is quite a heavy boat. It's got a towing hook set up on the front, so you will absolutely tow this behind a large vessel, and it's got really good cruising speeds and quite awesome functionality, and which I've, as I said, I've just experienced. Anyway, it's early in the morning, not too many people out on the Broadwater, so let's make some waves, I reckon. Before I do that, I'm just going to talk to you about this helm. Absolutely gorgeous helm, and I'll cover this in more detail in the walkthrough, but I'm just looking at all carbon here, a very smartly laid out setup. In terms of my driving position, I feel like I am dominating the Broadwater from this seat here. This is electrically operates forward and back. I've got the flip up bolster, and you can have a guest on either side. We're going downwind at the moment, but I've got beautiful wind protection. The windscreen protects all three of us, and we're sitting under the shade of this solid T-top just here. I got the quad set up, but I'm just operating it through your normal Mercury digital throttles just here. I've got my trim tabs just here. I'm going to be using those. Bow thruster, and I've also got the Mercury joystick and skyhook operation just here. Engine start stops electric. We've got drink holders, we've got phone storage. You literally have everything here. I'm running triple screens, but again, we'll cover that in more detail in the walkthrough. Another engine diagnostics display here with fuel flow, which I'm not going to bother talking about. Yes, it sucks some juice, but once again, if you're worried about that, maybe you should look at one of my other videos, because for the people who are seriously looking at this boat, this will be a cost saving for you, because you were probably considering something much larger to support your operations or your lifestyle. Anyway, let's get moving. So I'm just sitting on about 1300 revs there. I was just going downwind and sitting on about 7 knots. I'm not really gonna cruise this thing too slow because she's gonna make some waves. A boat of this size and this caliber is gonna make some waves. So sitting on that 8 to 9 knots, that's about your limit of social ability, put it that way, for cruising other guests before you're probably going to piss them off. So let's just get up and moving. I'm just going to drop my trim tabs and just get the boat on the plane. Okay, rolling through 14 knots there. Engine revs are up to 4,000. I didn't plant it. This is my first drive on the boat, my first time driving being on deck. I've just sat down below before this, so I'm just going to feel the boat out. Rolling through 17 knots. I'll increase the revs there, 4,500. I've got to say, this steering wheel is gorgeous. It's got like a rubber backed opposite side. It's clearly carbon fibre and it's got the steering knob, which I like. We're just hitting 22 knots there. I'm just going to raise my trim tabs a little bit. Oh, straight through 25. She feels really good there. So that's 4,800 revs, 4,900. I'm actually just going to back the power off a little bit, set my trim. So I've brought the trim tabs a little bit over half trim tab, and my engine revs at 4,700. So that's going to be a moderate consumption at that pace, and I've got a speed return of 26 knots. Now, if I go quiet, it just means I'm concentrating. These aren't my home waters. I'm going through some confused tidal water here as I go past Wave Break Island. And we've got a southerly wind today, so we are going downwind at the moment. Okay, I can see my markers, green, green, green. I'm going to keep them on the right. And yeah, we'll just cruise at this speed. I'm just going to see how it feels standing up. My visibility sitting down was perfect. I think for all 5'7" of me, standing up, I would probably want to be a little bit on my tippy toes to feel like I can safely navigate the boat. So I reckon that seated position for a short bloke like me is where you would navigate the boat. Obviously, you can play with the trim a little bit if you want to raise or lower the bow. She's just absolutely rock bloody solid. Like, I really do feel like I'm dominating. So I'm just playing with the revs there. Just hit 5,000 for a second. I'll bring it down to 4.7 again. Once I know I got a clear run, I'm actually just going to speed it up and give it some wide open. Feeling good. This is awesome. All right. Okay. There we go. Clear water. Okay, rolling through 27 knots. I'm raising my trim tabs now. Going to reduce my drag. 29 knots. 5,500 revs. Okay, I'm giving it a little bit of engine trim. You know, the boat, just because you've got so much weight. Wow, 36 knots, 37 knots, 38 knots. You know, this thing is unstoppable. I could do this and drink a coffee or smoke a pipe. I feel like you can smoke a pipe on this boat and you just feel unstoppable. So 38 knots, highly achievable. So I'm going to actually slow the boat right down. I'm going to get it off the plane and let's just assess what it would be like as a crew, just managing your guests. You know, I can see all points on the boat. Your guests are going to be, they probably are going to be, if you were socialising with a whole bunch of passengers on for the day and you're the captain or first mate driving the boat, they're going to be probably from the bow to the stern. And I do feel like this seated position is going to be the place to be if you've got people in the bow, because then you can see straight over them. So that's all good. We've got one little boat coming up behind us. I'm just getting rid of my waves for him so I don't throw him in the water. And let's go around him. G'day mates, taking missus out for a cruise. Alrighty, okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm getting the boat back and moving. 38 knots top speed, really easy. A little bit of trim tab down on acceleration, trim it out as you get up and moving, and same thing with the drives, or with the outboards I should say. This steering is just wonderful. It's power assisted steering. I love this steering wheel, and it's got the little steering knob as well. So from an operational perspective, sitting up here, looking around, keeping an eye on your guests, people are going to be comfortable, and they're going to be comfortable in all conditions from an inshore perspective. But let's get it up and moving again, and let's start putting it through some turns. And for that, we didn't get any water over the decks. Now we are pumping into probably about 15 knots of breeze here, maybe a little bit more at times. It's hard to tell with the tide running. So we will just go out in the ocean now, and let's just suss it out. Just going to give it a quarter of a trim tab down, get it up and moving. And yeah, I think we'll just drive offshore, go into the swell a little bit. We might stop it offshore and test the gyro, because we do have a gyro on this boat, and this is the sort of thing you'd want to stop and have a fish, or just stop and relax. And you know, here on the Gold Coast, I love just catching the sunsets. Imagine just heading offshore, quick blast offshore to enjoy the sunset with you and your mates. Now I'm just sitting on about 24 to 25 knots, and I'm just putting the boat through some gentle turns here. So heeling angle, I'm not losing any visibility. I'm not, the T-top roof isn't dropping down to a level where it reduces my sight line to what's going on. So this, she's a big boat. She's a sizable boat, so you do have to take that into account. If you're coming from a 30-foot support boat which weighs 4 tons, you know, this is another league. So you know, we're driving something that is equivalent to most people's primary boat. So once you get used to that, you can just settle in and just feel like you're unstoppable. That's how I feel, unstoppable. So let's just cruise on out here. A little bit of southerly wind. I'm doing this now at 27 knots, up from 24. And I can see my wake really stretches out quite a way aft at this speed, so that's good. The boat likes this. And a bit of debris in the water there, I think. Okay. Okay, so this is interesting. You know, we got a little short, sharp chop just from tidal movement mixed with the wind, and it's sending those waves out to the side. I note that whilst our size and displacement, you know, she's displacing a bit of water, it's sending it all out that way. So at the moment, you might get a little bit of spray in those back corners, but this whole bow area, which is going to be quite enjoyable for a lot of guests, that's completely dry. And I did also notice the same thing when we did the offshore run just earlier. It was a similar sort of story. So I'm just running with about 1/3 trim tabs down. I'm just sitting on 21 knots. I'm not going to go blasting out here. There's a lot of surfers that paddle across this Broadwater here. Don't really want to chop anyone up today. So let's just feel our way. Beautiful. And this, sitting up at this high position, even though I haven't electrically adjusted the seat as far forward as I could, this is really comfortable, and it's not putting any pressure on my lower back or my upper back. Sometimes you get into these awkward seating positions on some boats, and you find yourself having sore shoulders because you lean awkwardly. I'm not getting that on this boat, and even if I was, I can adjust it further forward. This footrest is in a wonderful position here for me, all 5'7" of me, and yeah, it just feels good. Ergonomically, it feels good. Alrighty, so we got a little bit more wind compared to when we were out here just an hour ago, and I'm just going to lower my trim tabs just down to half tab and just sit on that 20 odd knots. I don't need to blast through here. domination. It remains the theme of the day. I feel like I'm absolutely dominating this situation here at the moment. Okay, getting a little bit of spray over the bow here, which I would expect because we got wind just here, we got waves on the bow. We'll just exit. Okay, so I've just slowed the boat right down. There's lots of messy water through here, and we got shallow water over there, and it's amazing. We've had a lot of rain on the east coast for months now. It's just been unbelievable. But you can see the discoloration of the water, which is all this dirty stuff exiting the Broadwater. It's amazing. And there's, oh, here we go, here's the line. I'm just crossing the line of dirt into more ocean conditions now. So that was rough. I had to take a pause because I didn't know where the windscreen wiper button was, but I found it. So anyway, a little bit more wind than what we had before, and we'll just speed her up. I'm going into it just gently, just doing about 12 knots at the moment because this is short, sharp stuff. So I would expect to get lots of waves over the bow in this sort of condition because we had a decent amount of waves and lots of confused water. So that's just what's going to happen. And let's just get the boat moving again. And I'm just going to head out here, just head out to sea a little bit and test this gyro. So from a comfort perspective, you hardly notice these swells or these waves. You know, this is a boat that you could transit, you know, into this short, sharp stuff that we're doing right now, and you could just transit all day long at these moderate speeds, sit on, you know, 15 knots or so, and then as soon as you're off the breeze, wind it right up. So, you know, obviously you're always going to pick your conditions. So if you're a skipper, you're going to be picking the nice conditions for the guests, and you're going to do the rough stuff in transit and make sure they enjoy themselves. So if you've got to go upwind for a little while, you know, you might just do that and tell the guests to meet you somewhere else, or you'll plan a trip where you drive downwind. But I just want to show you guys what we're experiencing, and essentially dominating it. Like, it's so smooth. We are throwing some water up, which is going to the side. I am dry. My two mates here are dry, but on the back deck, they're definitely going to be copping some water going into it. And let's now just increase our pace a little bit. I still got a quarter of a trim tab down. I'm just going to raise the trim tabs just to see if raising the bow changes that at all. Much of a muchness, really. And now, and in terms of a comfort perspective, it's just the 15-ton a boat really does just make a huge difference. So playing with the trim tabs and having to constantly trim a boat of this size, it's not as necessary when you compare it to something that's going to be lighter and really require a lot more attention from the driver. So anyway, let's slow it down, and I'm going to okay, so I'm just going to stop the boat, and I've got a nice big screen on my starboard side which shows me here we go. I've got roll angle. I'm just going to stop the boat. Markedly different conditions to only an hour ago. Okay, now let's press power, and there we go. That should be on now. So smooth. So you really could come out here and enjoy an afternoon sunset, you know, come out for the morning, do a little bit of fishing in the morning. All of these things are achievable with, you know, I'm now just deliberately going beam on, and, you know, we're rock solid. We're rock solid. It's that's just such a huge difference. Okay, let's get the boat moving. Let's run down swell and take a back inshore I think we need to find somewhere nice and protected out of the wind and give you guys a bit of a walkthrough. So let's do that. All right, I've got my trim tabs up now. I'm just going to get the boat moving. So in these downwind conditions, this is where I'm going to be more, it's more favourable to a little bit higher speed. So I'm immediately doing my 12 knots and rolling through 14, 15. My engine revs 4,500, 4,000, just varying between 4,000 to 4,500 and straight up to 22 knots. So this, this is a real happy place offshore on this boat. 20, I feel like 20 to 22 knots, maybe up to 24 if you don't have too much wind, is just easy peasy Japanesey on this boat. You really will be dominating all conditions off the breeze and down the breeze. So it's a really happy run. And having these higher sprint speeds, which you just experienced inshore, gives you the option to pick your conditions and just blast this thing up in the soft stuff, as you always would, and enjoy the ride. But let's enjoy this, just ranging through 17 to 20 odd knots speed, coming up on the back of a wave there. Wow, you just feel the boat's displacement here coming into play. This is big boat stuff. I'm just rolling up and over some waves here, and I'm going to get some steeper ones in a second, so I'll just be adjusting my my throttle input to suit. And we're going to have a few little curly ones, so what I might do is I might stick on the back of one of these waves. Yeah, wow, look at that discoloration of water. It's really evident that the rain has been so heavy. Okay, so if I go quiet here, it just means I'm concentrating a little bit, guys. Sitting on the back of this wave. Beautiful. She's just got power to spare. Displacement is your friend right now, and I just feel safe. I feel in control. I've got water all around me. I don't care. My visibility remains awesome, and that is just stress-free bar crossing right there. And I can just hop through the other side, give it some juice. Here we go, and just feel the boat just gently, ever so gently, just speed up and do her thing. It's just beautiful. Okay, let's not run over any surfers. Looking good. Few birds diving around me for fish. There must be a lot of activity in the water at the moment after all this rain. Look at that tidal movement just over there. You just feel so confident in this boat. This would be an amazing boat to have, stationed up at Airlie Beach, for example, during your winter holidays, and just running trips back and forth to the mainland. Take it down to Sydney, Melbourne over the summer, and do the absolutely amazing Sydney dayboat thing. There really is nothing in Australia right now that's going to compare with the volume that this boat provides for the dayboat scene. So you are going to be unique, and you're going to be having an impressive, fun day, that's for sure. And that quad rig on the back, don't tell me you don't love it. I mean, it's pretty impressive. So let's just follow around in the direction of the Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast here. And we'll just cruise. A couple of birds getting out of the way. Thank you, bird. So I think that's where we wrap it up, guys. Yeah, if you're looking to save a bit of money, if you're looking for a support yacht that will save you having to get the bigger support yacht, a boat that's going to give you the most epic day boat experience imaginable, something that's going to dominate the conditions that you choose to put it in, and something that's just going to give you a really pleasurable experience, which is also quite unique in a way. At the end of the day, we do boating to enjoy ourselves, to have fun and put a smile on our face. Quad Rig, Ocean Alexander, you've done well. My name's Dan Jones. This has been Dan's Boat Life. See you on the next one.